What's up, everybody? Welcome in to the PHNX Suns Podcast. I'm Lindsay, that's Gerald, that's Espo, and we are presented by Michelob ULTRA. Listen, at this point, just be prepared with a good Michelob ULTRA, because then at least you know you're going to get at least one win during Suns games.
Damn.
And that is the superior taste that is Michelob ULTRA.
2.6 carbs, 95 calories. All taste.
Exactly. Are you chugging today or just sipping today?
Just sipping.
I mean, it
Okay.
is a Monday.
Good
so
call.
I understand
We got a
that.
long week.
We do have a long week ahead of us. Tonight, the Phoenix Suns will be taking on the New Orleans Pelicans. I'm a little bit, I don't know how to feel
Apprehensive?
right now.
Okay.
I'm in this weird limbo phase where like part of me wants to get excited and like ride the highs,
Mhm.
but then another part of me is like, you're just going to hurt yourself doing that.
Yeah, we've talked about this the last couple of games. We don't know what to expect from the Suns on a nightly basis right now, so all we can really do is sit back and observe, because I genuinely don't know. I think the Suns match up fairly well with the Pelicans, but I would have said that the Suns match up pretty well with the San Antonio Spurs, and they lost 3 or 4 times to that fucking team. So who's to say anymore? I hope that this is a game that you can get Devin Booker back on track. The last time they met, the only time they met this season, Book dropped 52. And
He does seem to love playing the Pelicans.
He does. And since he came back from injury, he's shooting 28% from 3. So you're hoping that this is a get-right game for Booker at least.
Since I'm in the 3rd seat, I feel like that's the eternal optimist seat on this program.
Is that what it is?
Yeah. So I think a little flex has entered.
Okay.
And I've absorbed that spirit
Okay.
here. I'm genuinely excited because they have an opportunity in front of them.
Mm.
And I want to see them either set the record straight that they are still in this and that they're going to put everything they have in it, or set the record straight that this just ain't the team, right?
Yeah.
And I think, you're going to get a sense of that pretty early. What's the effort like? What's the body language like? Because this is the last game of a 5-game road trip.
Mm-hmm.
There's all the excuse in the world to come out with a lack of energy and, a million reasons why they'd be like, well, blah, blah, blah. Well, no, I don't know. I want to see you come out like your playoff life is on the line, because it is. If you don't win tonight, you fall 3 behind the Pelicans.
Mm-hmm.
You lose another half game to the Mavs. You lose a half game to the Kings. Your playoff life is on the line tonight. You need to go in there and handle your business and then take care of them when you face them again here in Phoenix. That's it. That's every time you play a team that's ahead of you, you have to win the damn game right now.
Yeah, I mean, if they win tonight, they win the head-to-head tiebreaker with New Orleans. They're currently 2 games back of the Pelicans, who are in that 6th spot. So you make up some ground there. You give yourself a chance with one more meeting against the Pelicans to beat them again and make up another game. Like, this game is crucial if you want to stay out of play-in territory, along with that Kings game on the road that's coming up in a couple weeks. So yeah, this is a crucial game, and it's one they're going to have to find a way to stop Zion. They did a really nice job on him last time, putting Brad Beal on him to start plays and being mindful of the gaps, sending help, playing passing lanes, getting out to shooters, all things that they have not necessarily done very well over the last couple of weeks. So this is going to be a real test, and it's going to really show us where this team's headspace is at in terms of execution and honestly just general belief that this is still a playoff team that has goals beyond just making the playoffs.
See, and that's the concerning part, because so Dwayne Rankin obviously is on the road for AZ Central, and he shared this clip of KD after the game on Friday against the Thunder, and it left me feeling some type of way. So let's listen to it together.
Well, Yeah, I mean, just I don't know to be honest. I mean, I wish I could talk about the inconsistencies. A lot of times we don't make shots some nights. A lot of times we do foul too much. It's just the subtleties of the game that can turn the game for you. And I think the small parts of the game sometimes we overlook, and it might come back to bite us. But we see what we are when we at our best, and we see what we are when we at our worst. And sometimes it's good to evaluate both sides and figure out who you are. I know it's late in the season, but you can never stop soul searching and getting better as a group and as an individual.
What gives you confidence that you guys can be at your best as consistent as you need to be?
We got opportunities. We got eight more games left, and hopefully we got an opportunity to play in the postseason. Just take the game at a time.
Okay, so there's three things that I was like, am I overthinking this? Am I being overly critical because of where we are in the season and like all that stuff is taking over my brain? He said, overlook the little things, right? Sometimes we overlook the little things, which is a terrible habit. And then he said, trying to still figure out, we've seen who we are. We're at our best and at our worst. We're still kind of trying to figure out who we are. And that's concerning to an extent. Like, yes, because he continues on, like, you should never stop trying to improve and all that stuff. For sure.
Right.
But did you just say the quiet part out loud that you don't really know who you are as a group yet? And then the last thing is hopefully we get a chance to play in the postseason. What do you mean hopefully? You're supposed to instill some faith in us. Like we're grasping on everything you say. Please tell us you're going to make it to the postseason.
I'm 40 and I don't know who I am. So I guess it can take a little while to figure that out, right? But no, I look at, I don't know. I think this is just KD. I think KD comes off in this manner sometimes because of who he is as a person.
Mm-hmm.
Like, he's not the guy that's going to,
Sugarcoat
come off as angry on Mike or anything. Yeah. Like, so people are like, well, it's low energy. I'm like, yeah, KD, not that he's low energy, but he's kind of more soft-spoken. He's not that rah-rah guy. And honestly, I mean, we all are thinking this. Yeah, hopefully they are in the playoffs.
Yeah.
Because the truth is, right now it ain't solid. The play-in, I don't count as the playoffs. I assume that's the way he's approaching it too. Is yeah, we might be in the play-in right now, and that's just the truth of it.
Yeah, and it kind of goes back to something we talked about, I think, last week in terms of our concern is that they know what the problem is in terms of we know what we are at our best. We know what we are at our worst. We just need to bridge that gap and be closer to our best every night. They know that they're not that. They know that they're inconsistent. At this point, I think it's saying the loud part out loud. But the problem is like they're not fixing it. They haven't fixed it. They haven't moved towards consistency. They haven't addressed the problem. That's what's worrisome to me is when you know there's a problem and it's frustrating to everybody and there's still no fix for it. There's no changing it. Like that has to come internally. And the fact that it feels like they're kind of grasping at straws is what I'm concerned about at this point. Like the language has definitely changed. It's gone from we need to be playing our best basketball in April as long as we're healthy for the playoffs. We're going to be in a good spot, all this stuff. And now it's, I think Devin Booker said it to Dwayne Rankin the other day. Like, yeah, the play-in is a very real possibility. KD saying, hopefully we're in the postseason. Like that's a shift to me in terms of belief, in terms of mindset. And it's a little concerning because we're going to be able to tell a lot about this team from the way that they approach this game tonight.
So let's look at some comments in the chat. We have quite a few super chats, but before we get to those, John in the chat said Booker's off-court drama is affecting him on-court. John, can you elaborate, please? Because I'm not entirely sure what. I don't know if I'm missing drama.
I saw people talking about, did his shoe stuff play a part? No. Devin Booker's shoe release didn't play a part. They barely did anything for a shoe release. So right. I don't think his shoe release has anything to do with this.
Well, and now that's all done. Now everything's kind of like already set up as far as when things are going to pop off and when they're not.
Look, I think it's as simple as people trying to figure out how they fit together still.
Yeah.
I don't think there's a comfort yet with that. I think you can see it on the court. I think that's why it's sometimes rotating iso ball, because there isn't a comfort. There was talk over the weekend, I'm not sure I 100% agree with it, but that this team starting to give up on Frank Vogel. Maybe that could be a possibility. I have nothing that suggests that, but there was talk of that. I mean, I think there's all sorts of things that are playing into this year, and it's a weird amalgamation of crap, honestly, that I think is leading to the product we're seeing right now.
Yeah.
All right. So John said it's the Kendall Jenner stuff. I haven't seen anything pop off recently that would suggest there's a lot of drama there. But if you do send it to me on Instagram, I want to see it, or Twitter or whatever.
Yeah, if there's something specific.
But if it's just the Jenner stuff in general, I'm not buying into that one too much.
Yeah, he played his best basketball when they were dating, and we got to stop blaming men's failures on women. Like, there's nothing to that.
Yeah.
Sorry.
All right. Psycho Blue sent us 2 super chats. The first one says, B-Ball Cthulhu is wondering if national and local media having a diarrhea fit on the Suns franchise is going to have a lasting effect on attracting players. Like, being here will harm their brand.
Hold on a
Paint
second.
with words.
Did we not see the last 17 years here?
Yeah,
this is a walk in the park.
Yeah.
Nobody's looking at this and going, "Oh, I need to stay." No. Go back and look at the last 17 years and the disgraced former owner, and you'll see exactly what keeps players from wanting to play with your franchise. A billionaire owner willing to throw cash like it's going out of style will never not attract players.
Yeah, I don't think we're really too worried about that. And plus, a lot of NBA players love Phoenix, just in general.
Yeah.
Like, they just do. But Psycho Blue sent us another one, and they said, Book lately needs to get his aura back. Watching him in game and in interviews is reminding me of Baker Mayfield before he left Cleveland.
Jesus.
Let's not jump that far. Let's not jump that far, Psycho Blue.
That's one of the rudest comparisons.
How many interceptions is Devin throwing? Oh my God.
I do agree that Book needs to get his groove back.
He does.
He has seemed a little bit off lately. And this is a great game for him to do that. Like we were saying earlier, he seems to love playing the Pelicans. It's Flex was talking about how it's kind of a little bit of a homecoming of sorts. He always has a big group of people there in New Orleans. So hopefully this is that jump start he needs.
Credit where credit is due to Psycho Blue. I don't think that comparison has ever been made before in the history of ever. Baker Mayfield and Devin Booker.
Yeah, I didn't see that one coming, but no, he does. It does feel like the last handful of games, especially since he's come back from injury, he's at times tried to be too much of a scorer and gotten tunnel vision, and then he's tried to be the point guard playmaker too much and taken his foot off the gas a little bit. It doesn't feel like that balance has really been there recently. I think he's only averaging like 24 points per game since he came back. So this would be a good game to get back on track.
I kind of wonder if the Beal taking over a lot of the primary ball handling there for that stretch and him coming back and trying to find his way and fit in, how much that impacts it. I don't think there's any one thing that's leading that. But one other thing I want to bring up about Psycho Blue, he's also the first person in the history of the world to compare Phoenix with Cleveland, right? in that as well. There's no comparison.
Yeah. Then we have one from Leo. Leo said, did y'all have fun camping with Frank Vogel?
Yes.
We did. I don't know if the players really enjoyed it as much. I guess we'll find out today if they did or not.
We'll see.
But we all had a great time.
Oh, you bastards stole my s'mores.
Well, Espo, that's what happens when you go to bed early.
Jeez.
That's what happens. Go to Tech Review sent us one and said, just want consistency, effort, and heart.
That'd be
You're
nice.
not asking for much,
That'd be
in
nice.
my opinion.
You think Go To Tech Reviews has also used that as a review for some tech product as well?
Probably.
I just want consistency, effort, and art from my
my
tech
device.
companies. Yes.
Yes. All right, guys, let's dive a little bit more into this game. We'll take a peek at the injury report. It's looking good for the Phoenix Suns. Nobody is on it outside of Damian Lee, which, of course, like we've already told you, we're not going to talk about him until we have better news that he is going to be back. But on the Pelicans side of things, Brandon Ingram is out and Jose Alvarado is also out. So this should be a good thing for the Suns, but I don't know, because lately it's not great when star players are not playing for our opponents, because then the Suns just kind of take a lackadaisical approach to things.
Yeah, I feel like I'm more concerned now that Brandon Ingram is still out than I was before. And especially because they have to do a good job on Zion, which Zion is a load. He's a lot to handle. Like, he is one of the strongest and most athletic, quickest players in the league when he's locked in. So their defense has to be as good as it was the last time around. I thought they did a really nice job on Zion. I think he had 24 points, but they limited everybody else. I think the Pelicans shot like 25% from three, and they took a ton of them. So they did a really nice job getting out to shooters. And we've seen after the All-Star break, they've really struggled with that in some games. So they're going to have to be as locked in as they've been post All-Star game. And I don't know. I think they match up well with the Pelicans, but I genuinely don't know what to expect anymore.
I think they need to try to force Zion to get that ball facing the basket, because when you saw problems in that game was when he was on the block and he had Bradley Beal, who did an admirable job giving up that much size, or Grayson Allen down there, and they flashed the double. Like, they're gonna have to continue to play hard, because they're just at a size disadvantage with this lineup, and there's just no way around that, because Nurk's got to guard Valanciunas in the center position, and you're going to get stuck with a smaller person on Zion. So how do you handle that? And I wouldn't be shocked if we see some Roddy minutes tonight. If they need a body to just kind of push on Zion at some point as well. Yes, a big body Roddy. I know that they won last time and pretty decisively, but that mismatch still scares me immensely, because you do give up so much damn size. And if the Pelicans had actually hit a decent clip of those threes, it's a totally different ball game. Shooting 23, I think it was just over 23%. I mean,
they did a good job contesting, though. Like, their team defense was sound in that game, and that is the thing that concerns me the most, is if you are not sound in your execution against Zion, like, he's going to pick you apart. Their shooters are going to pick you apart. They have a lot of youth and athleticism and length and defense out there. Like, you cannot make mistakes against this team either. So, all the things that we've been complaining about since the All-Star break. Because I feel like they've matched up well with the Pelicans, and Devin Booker loves playing this team. But if they come out with the same intensity or execution that they have over the last couple of weeks, it's probably going to be another blowout.
Yeah, Charles said, don't fall asleep at the three. And Marvin said, if the Pels struggle at threes, then it gives us a chance. So,
yeah, I mean, and I think KD has an easier assignment. There's not Brandon Ingram out there on either side of the court for him. So hopefully that's a benefit for the Suns here, both offensively and defensively. So we'll see.
And Alvarado too, that one is kind of, again, it's good and bad, I guess, in certain situations. But I do think that his peskiness and his shit talk also brings out the best in competition at times too, which I think the Suns could really utilize right now. You kind of feed off of that competition a little bit. Yeah, and Book is a prime example of somebody who, when there's seemingly some sort of beef, if you will, or even just, again, peskiness between the two of him and somebody else, he seems to step it up another level.
I will say he does enjoy going at Dyson Daniels, though, and that's probably who's going to be filling a lot of those Alvarado minutes. So hopefully he continues that and continues to go at Dyson, because he likes that matchup.
And I'm pretty sure there's still a little competition between him and his former assistant coach, Willie Green.
Yes.
As well.
And Dyson kind of sucks sometimes when he's coaching. That's a vacuum joke. Just
good
for
one, Aspo.
Just for you.
What are the guys wearing tonight?
Oh, it's a statement versus statement edition tonight. Suns in the black with the Valley coloration on the numbers. I'm disappointed in Crescent City is such a cool name.
Should be a cooler jersey.
There's such a vibrant history in New Orleans and culture, and you gave me a knockoff Pistons jersey.
Yeah.
Like, it really looks like it should be a Detroit Pistons terrible third jersey option.
Yeah.
If you put motor instead of crescent on it, you would go, oh, yeah,
Pistons.
Makes total sense.
Dang, that's a bummer.
Yeah.
All right, who you guys got tonight and by how much? I don't think any of us are feeling too confident here.
No, I low-key almost picked the Pelicans, but I'm going to be optimistic tonight. I'm saying Suns by a whole point.
All right.
I was there too. I was leaning Pelicans, but I went, you know what? I'm gonna keep it optimistic. Suns by 2.
I'll go with you, Espo. Suns by 2. They cover the spread, but that's about it. Flex, always with the optimism. Suns by 4 tonight.
I love that 4 is now the optimistic.
It
It's
is.
Well, I mean, look at what our friends at the BetMGM Sportsbook app think. They're not really like,
No?
So that is pretty optimistic.
Well, yeah. I mean, but usually when we think of Flex's optimism, we'd be like, oh, by 12, huh? 4 is a little different.
4 is the new 12. All right. What are you putting your money on, Espo? What's your swinging for the fences?
I went
bet
simple.
Today?
I went Devin Booker to score 40 plus points at 12 plus 1,200.
Simple.
Book is back, baby.
Honestly, I'm not mad at this. Hopefully, though, he starts this off with the first field goal for the Suns tonight, because that's what I decided to put my money on. Plus 270. Nothing too crazy here, but it's still good odds. Plus 270 is a big one.
You can have the first bucket. I'll take 40 points, and I'll still gain ground up.
All right, Flex is keeping it pretty simple tonight. He is rolling with the Suns money line at a plus 105.
Wow.
So he would win a whole what?
$10.50.
$10.50.
Wow, you don't have the smallest bet of the night.
I don't. Look at me
that.
go. Look at me. Saul came with, this is a very Lindsay-esque parlay, if I
That's
don't say so myself.
a lot of work for a plus 380.
It's a 6-leg parlay for a plus 380. So he's got PRA for Valanciunas at 16 or more. He's got points for Book at 20 or more, points for KD at 20 or more, points for Beal at 10 or more, points for Nurk at 5 or more, and then PRA for Grayson Allen at 18 or more.
Grayson's what screws him on this.
It's very doable. Yeah, I was going to say either Nurk has one of those games where he like fouls out quickly.
With 3 points.
Yeah, or Grayson has one of those non-existent games.
I mean, at least he went PRA with Grayson.
Yes.
That will help him a lot because the points I feel like fluctuate quite a bit for Grayson from night to night at times.
Yeah.
But adding in the assists and rebounds there will give you a little bit of a buffer room.
Do we have the leaderboard?
Do we have to?
Yeah. I just wanted to make this clear.
Yeah, you just wanted to check.
If Saul loses,
he goes in.
He joins Flex in the negative. That's it.
That's what you wanted to look at.
How many games do we have left? 8? Including tonight?
Including tonight.
Okay.
8 including tonight.
So I have to win a couple times in order to stay out of the negative then. Because I've got $47. So I've got 4 and a little bit of a game.
You might need to start making bigger bets if you want to actually win this thing.
Oh, Gerald, I'm not going to win this.
She's like, oh, Gerald.
How sad this would be.
I gave up on that All-Star break.
If I were the only one in the positive by the last game.
That's all I'm trying to get right now is
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying to be in the positive at the end of the season.
Okay.
That is the goal that I've set for myself.
So it's not winning, it's just staying
realistically
positive.
At this point, I just don't think it's in the cards for me this year. But if I can at least have a little bit of bragging rights that I didn't end in a negative,
I wasn't the worst.
Exactly.
Woo!
I wasn't the worst. That's all that really matters to me at this point. I know it's sad, but
I feel like that's quintessential for the fan base right now. We're not winning, but we're going to stay positive.
Yeah. Listen. There's only so
what
much.
fan base have you been?
No, I'm saying that's what the fan base needs to do.
Needs to do.
That's not what they're doing.
Gotcha.
That's what we need to do.
Yes.
Oh, man. Well, listen, if you guys want to get in on the action or if you have a better bet, you can send it our way as well. Sign up for the BetMGM Sportsbook app and use bonus code PHNX when you sign up. All you got to do is place your first BetMGM Sportsbook wager through the BetMGM Sportsbook mobile app of at least $10, and you will receive up to $1,500 in bonus bets if the bet loses. You can check out the show notes for full details, and now you can listen to Shane talk about the disclaimer.
Bonus bets expire in 7 days. One new customer offer only. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Available in the U.S. Call 877-8-HOPE-NY 467-369 New York. Call 1-800-327-5050 Massachusetts. 21 plus only. Please gamble responsibly. Call 1-800-NEXT-STEP Arizona. 1-800-BETS-OFF Iowa. 1-800-981-0023 Puerto Rico. First bet offer for new customers only. Subject to eligibility requirements. Bonus bets are non-withdrawable. In partnership with Kansas Crossing Casino and Hotel. See BetMGM.com for terms. U.S. promotional offers not available in New York, Nevada, North Carolina, Ontario, or Puerto Rico.
Get stuffed, Ontario. And Puerto Rico Flex isn't here, but I'm still sorry for him. So.
Buddha said Lindsay low-key throwing shade at Flex when he's had her back this whole time is wild. That wasn't shade at Flex. That was more shade at Saul because he's about to be in the negative. Flex has just gotten a
Flex
pass.
has been in the boiler room at the Titanic.
Yeah,
He's
we feel
he
bad
knows.
for Flex. Saul, on the other hand, when Saul goes into the negative, Then we talk.
We got to talk a little shit.
We talk a little trash. That's all.
I prefer to stay highbrow and away from the.
You're a liar.
Okay.
Lies.
Until
All right.
post game.
Yeah, there you go.
Exactly. All right, let's round out the pregame show, taking a look at the Western Conference standings. So there were some big games that happened last night. The Suns are in 8th place now. We got to win some games, y'all. We got to win some games.
Got to win some games, especially these Pelicans games and that last Sacramento game on the road, because as you can see, they are neck and neck with the Kings, and whoever wins that game wins the head-to-head tiebreaker between those two teams. So got to keep winning. Got to stay away from LA, who is only a game and a half back now.
That scares me.
Mm-hmm.
That's the thing that scares me. But if you're 7-8 and you have to, you're 8 and you have to go into Sacramento, if you win, that's doable. I do not want a one game if you lose to the Warriors, that you're out. Like you need margin for error, and I do not want one game winner take all in terms of that Warriors situation in 9-10.
Well, if you're in a 9-10, you have to win twice to get in. If you're in the 7-8, you have to win one of two to get in. That's a big difference between those two scenarios.
Right.
Yeah. I just the thought of having to just win that first one against the Warriors is terrifying, let alone the second that you have to then go win to get in.
On the road.
Just no, thank you.
Yeah, that's not an ideal situation whatsoever. And like with this team specifically, like it's hard to have faith. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
If they were, depending on what happens over the next like handful of games this week specifically, the 4 games that are happening this week, can change how confident I would feel if we did end up in that 9 or 10 spot. But as it stands right now, I'm not really confident that you can win two playing games to get into the postseason.
If you fall to 9, there is nothing that you did in the last 2 weeks of the season to make me feel confident.
Yeah.
Like if you're in that spot, you done fucked up and you are not making anybody feel confident.
It's not great.
Why should we have any confidence in them going into essentially 2 elimination games?
Yeah.
We've seen this team in elimination games. I know it's a different cast of characters, but I don't need any more issues. I got enough that I can talk to my sports shrink about. I have 2. One
You
for my
have 2
sports
now?
trauma and one for my life trauma.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah, that's how
God.
bad it is. I don't need
Blessings,
anything
Espo.
more.
Quite an expense. But good for you.
I read it off as a work expense the second
There
one.
you go.
There you
That's
go.
smart.
All right.
That's
Smart.
All right. Well, thank you guys for joining us for the pregame show. We appreciate you being here. But don't worry, if you're sad that the show is ending, you can have 6 more hours of Espo because they're doing another watch along. Espo and Eric will be on the mic here shortly for a watch along for this game. And then he'll be back for the post game show as well.
Maybe.
You'll be back for the post game show.
If this goes sideways, I'm just going to lose my voice.
Oh, no.
On purpose. So.
So be on the lookout for that link and hang out with them during the game, and then make sure you meet us back here for the post game show. Okay, bye.
We all silly like the mayor.